Now we're going to include here an income and cost analysis. Okay, and we go back to our calculation. We do the following here. First of all, we're gonna again do a white area, but doesn't matter. Okay, and we do as follow. Here I'm going to get this data here. Okay, I think it's net profit. Yeah, exactly. And here, this one is match this value, okay, in our here in our header. Exactly, you will see there will be 0, not applicable, because here we have to do this concatenate. So here we have to do this concatenate actual also space this one, so the column C is fixed. Okay, so we get these values here. You can see these are the columns where we find our values here. Okay, we can make a table, make it here. Okay, that's good. Then we're gonna get the values of this, what I just mentioned. We want to have the actual. Okay, so we're going to get some ifs offset. So I'm going to do the following. I'm going to do a sum ifs of values here and an offset on, and the column where I found the value. So here we are, we start with second, so I will have a match here. Okay, I get an offset starting from this one on a range that is how many columns and how many rows after. Okay, we're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna sum this if I have some conditions, okay, about the dates. So I'm gonna check this column, I will sum this. Okay, I get this range with an offset. Okay, starting from this column and from these rows. Okay, the rows of the any column, so I will consider column A. We'll consider column A. So this is the column that I'm going to sum. Okay, so I will get an offset of this range starting from this column, and for rows I consider the rows of any range. So here all these rows, and I'm going to do this if I have the sum, this date is within my financial period. So I'm going to do the following. I'm going to do sum ifs offset. Okay, sum range is the offset start from one element, so from this element here. Okay, dollar, it's an absolute reference. Then I have rows, nothing. Columns is this column minus 1. Okay, and here we have rows of the first column, or any column. Okay, we close this completely. Then criteria range is now this one is the criteria range, and the criteria is greater or equal, and calculation, this one, and then the same, but it has to be less or equal, okay, than their here end. Okay, I think I'm complete. Okay, so this one has to be okay. So I'm gonna check this. This has to be okay. This has to be this one. This one has to be also this. This is absolute reference. Okay, and we have our data. Okay, and then I'm going to give this a format, this number like this. Okay, I'm gonna close this. So we have now this. To recap this, I do a sum ifs. So I'm going to sum if all these dates are within the period, okay, which is from the 1st of January to the 31st of December of the selected year. Okay, I will do the sum in which range. In the range calculated as an offset starting from this value in all this range, this value, which is on the same row. The number of rows is basically the same as the number of columns of this range, so is 1. And then the number of columns is basically this one minus 1. And how is the height of this selected range? So how many rows I have is the number of rows of any of the columns. So this basically. So to calculate this number of rows, we just select any of these columns. So we selected the first one and we get this and we're done. Okay, now if we copy this to the rest, we get the values for the other ones, as you can see here. Okay.